After being created in the West Coast by Miles Warren, Ben Riley, the clone of Peter Parker, has been tracking down his brother, Kane. Ben arrives in Las Vegas as that was where the trail led him to. His search leads him to the Kingsley Casino, run and owned by Roger Kingsley. In the casino, Ben finds Kane disguised as a bartender and confronts him, trying to get him to leave with him. Kane refuses and tries to leave, but Ben keeps him there and continues to press him until the two break out into a fistfight. Just then, a man made up of bees appears and begins to battle Ben and Kane, with the two clones being very confused on what is happening and where the man came from. As the battle continues, Kane and Ben manage to escape the bee man, who reveals himself as Swarm, and both Kane and Ben decide to investigate Swarm. Their investigation leads them to Kingsley Labs, where they meet with Swarm again. The two put their suits on and confront Swarm, claiming that the lab is committing some sort of plot against Vegas and possibly the world. Kane and Ben battle Swarm, more ready for his powers, until suddenly a man wearing a suit similar to the Green Goblin's appears and begins to battle Kane and Ben with Swarm. The battle continues with Kane battling Swarm and Ben, while Ben battles against the Hobgoblin, until Hobgoblin and Swarm realize that the lab is almost destroyed. Hobgoblin tells the spiders that they have hurt the world as the villains leave Ben and Kane in the middle of the lab. Ben and Kane escape before security arrives, with Roger Kingsley looking the least surprised of the state of the lab. Hours later, Ben and Kane sit on a roof trying to figure out what this all means, as Kane reveals he snagged a file that showed a profile of the deceased Gwen Stacy that they both remember from their clone memories of Peter Parker. Ben and Kane begin to talk about what is going on and how they can't seem to escape the past of Peter Parker. Ben looks at Kane and tells him that they can honor what Peter stood for and become their own men. They decide to come up with a plan to capture Hobgoblin and Swarm as they head to the roof of Kingsley Labs. Their plan works as Hobgoblin and Swarm appear, and the pairs fight each other once again, with Ben battling Hobgoblin and Kane fighting Swarm. As Ben battles Hobgoblin, his helmet is knocked off, revealing Roger Kingsley, who tells them to give them the file. Ben asks what is Kingsley's plan, and Kingsley tells Swarm to stop fighting. Kingsley tells Ben and Kane to follow him as the group arrives back at the casino. At the casino, Kingsley and Swarm explain that they have been trying to find a cure to stop death, and they were close to figuring it out. But thanks to Ben and Kane, the lab work was destroyed. Ben and Kane ask why Kingsley had a file on Gwen Stacy's body, and Kingsley explains that a long time ago he was approached by Miles Warren to try to bring back Gwen Stacy. But after he went to prison, he looked for Swarm's help to bring Gwen back. Ben and Kane find out that the lab was Kingsley's lab had all their research, and now they can't redo the formula due to their research being destroyed in the fight at the lab. Ben and Kane realize their mistake. They thought that Swarm was a villain, when in reality he was just trying to save 9 years of research after the Ultron Revolution. There was no evil scheme, just men trying to help the world heal. Ben and Kane realize that they can help, and they realize that they can help. So they offer their blood to as superpowered DNA in order to heal the body. Ben ends up stepping up, allowing Swarm to take some of his blood, and all four of them work together to fix the lab and test the formula. It took them 3 months, but eventually they completed the formula and tested it. Gwen's body in a test tube takes 24 hours to fully heal, but when she wakes, she finds Kane, Ben, Roderick, and Swarm looking at her as their formula works. They all explain to Gwen what happened, and she holds on to the table, but when she tries to lift her hand off the table, she finds that it's stuck, and she can't lift it with no effort. Roderick and Swarm test her DNA and find that the altered clone DNA of Ben has altered her blood and given her the abilities of a spider. The next 2 months, Kane and Ben train Gwen as she decides to honor both her deceased lover and the people who helped give her the gift of life again, as she becomes Ghost Spider. While the road was rocky and tensions were high, Roderick, Swarm, Ben, Kane, and Gwen decide to work together to rebuild the research of reversing death and help the world, while also battling the real criminals of Las Vegas as the Web Warriors.